What's up, guys? Welcome back. Glad you're here. On today's episode, we're going to be looking at the newest deck release. That's right, from Chris Ramsay. That's right, the long-awaited V3s have arrived for the first playing cards. So, without further ado, buckle in your seatbelts. We're going there. Let's go. The V3 first playing cards by Chris Ramsay and designed by Abraham Garcia Sanchez is the newest in the series of 3 decks thus far. This deck design was originally told by Chris to be the original V1s of the series, but ended up getting put on the back burner. The front of the tuck box features these really nice palm leaves and a all-white background on the beautiful matte tuck box. It's going to say first there in that gold cigar banner that we're all used to in the series as well. The design wraps all the way around the entirety of the tuck box itself, and there's no other text font at all. The bottom of the tuck box is going to feature some ad copy about first playing cards and Chris Ramsay. There's no tuck seal, making this deck fast and easy to get to upon opening. The inner part of the tucked flap is going to be blessed by Chris's logo. And then on the inner parts of the tuck itself, you're going to see that same repeated pattern with the first logo there all the way through and through. This deck does come printed by the United States Playing Card Company on their crushed premium stock. It does have a traditional cut and an air cushion emboss, and this deck, just like the previous versions, does come in a Mnemonica stack. The back of the cards themselves is made up of a two-way image of those same palm leaves that we saw carry over from the tuck box. Also making its return is the famous first playing cards gold foil stamp that we saw from the previous 2 versions also. You're going to have a pencil-thin metallic gold line follow its way around the medium white poker borders, and that's it for the back of the cards. With this deck, you're going to receive some extra goodies. That's right, the first is going to be this really cool kind of ad card, which is that gold foil snake that we see, especially lately, in the new First Dot Shop clothing line released by Chris. The next card is going to be very familiar, seeing as that's been in the last 2 releases also, is the duplicate 4 of Spades, which is Chris's card. This card is good to keep on your wallet or on your persons for magic effects and more. The last 2, but certainly not least, cards are going to be your duplicate and original Jokers. These are identical, sporting the first playing card logo stamped there in the center, with Joker in the upper left and bottom right corners. The pips and indices in this deck are your industry standard. The courts in this deck are also your industry standard, with a little bit of customization as far as the clothing and what they're doing. You're going to see that the courts clothing is no longer in that same blue and yellows. Instead, it was replaced by this really nice kind of charcoal gray and gold metallic ink. Also, the courts are holding those same palm leaves that we saw from the theme of this deck. And there's also a really cool card reveal once you get over to the King of Hearts. If you see in his hand, he's holding a 7 of diamonds. The aces are also standard, so there's no difference there until we get over to the more prominent, beautiful Ace of Spades, which is going to have that enlarged kind of palm leaf there in the center, and it's going to be in the shape of a spade pip. You're going to also see that beautiful first logo in gold foil stamped in the center. Alright, so my final thoughts on this deck. I give it a 4 out of 5. 4 out of 5, yeah, I like it. You know, I've never been really too much of a fan as far as like the whole floral type of thing, right? Besides like the red roses and things like that. I think it's really cool. I think it's in right now. You know, it's almost like a not a fashion thing, but it's more like a phase that's going on in cards right now, right? We're seeing a lot of this. The Aloha playing cards by Shin Lim and his wife Casey. That's also with Paul Robaya, who also did the Flora playing cards, which I reviewed the V2s of, and I'll be doing the V1s here very soon. But those are all kind of based around that floral, you know, flower kind of design element. So we're seeing a lot of this, you know, and there's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, like I said before in one of my previous videos, it's like you kind of see these things happen in cards to where, you know, something happens, it hits, and then everybody starts doing it. You know, they're running around trying to do the same thing because they know it was a hit, and then it slowly dies down. And that's kind of, like I said, what's going on here, and what happened with the hotel casino type of phase that happened as well. But like I said, overall, really good deck. It was kind of cool to see him switch it up, you know, and do something different. I wasn't expecting this. I don't think anybody really was. But yeah, I mean, you know, Chris is a good dude. You know, I like everything that he does, and it's going to be interesting to see what he does next time. You know, I will say, I do appreciate that he's putting these decks out a little faster now, you know, as we go along. It seems like these releases are coming a little bit quicker. And of course, you know, with the card, you know, community the way it is now, there's so many decks that are coming out, it kind of makes that next big release happen a little bit faster. You don't really think too much about it because there are a lot of good as well as trash decks coming out. So you kind of don't really, you know, your mind's going in a million different places. But like I said, overall, really good deck of cards. I really recommend it. They feel pretty much close to an in-between of the V1s and the V2s. You do have to get these warmed up. Just like I said on my V2 review, when you get these out the box, they're gonna feel kind of clumpy at first, okay? But that's just the way the stock is with those, so much, you know, with the inks and stuff like that. Plus being printed, I believe these were printed on the web press, if I'm not mistaken. But, you know, anytime a deck is like that, you just gotta get it warmed up, you know? And once you get this deck warmed up, whew, you'll be in business, trust me. So yeah, that's the only thing I can say about that. But yeah, that's all I can say about this deck. I do believe that he still has these in stock. Like I said, I'll link the First Dot shop below so you guys can go ahead and check them out if that is the case and get yourself some of these bad boys. So that's all I can say about this deck. If you guys enjoyed this review, you know what to do. Smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you beautiful people on the next one.